The emergency klaxon pierced through the royal chambers as Queen Helena Martinez stood frozen before the holographic display showing her dying homeworld. Earth's cities burned under alien plasma bombardment while evacuation ships fled in desperate streams. Her hands trembled against the marble table edge, watching humanity's first interstellar war unfold in real time. "Your Majesty, the Zephyrian fleet has breached our outer defenses," Admiral Kate Sullivan reported through the comm channel, her voice cutting through static. "They're demanding complete surrender within 6 hours or they'll glass every human colony." Helena's jaw tightened. 3 months ago, she had been a junior senator from Colorado. Now, after the alien assassination of Earth's entire leadership during peace negotiations, she wore the emergency crown of a species fighting for survival, the weight of 8 billion human lives pressed against her shoulders like lead. "Casualties from the Paris strike?" she asked, though she dreaded the answer. 17 million confirmed dead. The Zephyrians used some kind of molecular disintegrator. The entire metropolitan area is just gone. Helena closed her eyes briefly, feeling each number like a physical blow. She had visited Paris only last year during the cultural exchange program. The laughter of children in the Louvre galleries echoed in her memory, now replaced by silence. "Your Majesty," Commander Ryan Torres entered the chamber, his face grim behind his tactical visor. "The Joint Chiefs need your authorization to deploy Project Prometheus. It's our only chance." Helena knew about Prometheus, the classified human weapon program that violated dozens of interstellar treaties. Nuclear fusion bombs that could crack planetoids, biological agents that targeted alien DNA, kinetic orbital platforms capable of devastating entire star systems. Weapons that would make humanity the monsters in this war. "The Zephyrians believe we're primitive," Torres continued. "They attacked during our peace summit because they saw us as weak. They have superior technology, but they underestimated human ingenuity." Through the chamber's massive viewport, Helena could see the enemy fleet approaching Earth's moon. Sleek triangular ships that seemed to absorb light, moving with an elegance that spoke of centuries of spacefaring dominance. Each vessel carried enough firepower to level continents. "Ma'am, we have intercepted Zephyrian communications," Intelligence Officer Lisa Park announced as she burst through the doors. "They're broadcasting their victory celebration across their empire. They're calling this the Human Extinction Festival." Helena's blood turned cold. The aliens weren't just conquering territory. They were celebrating genocide. "They've already destroyed the colony on Kepler 442b, Park continued. 200,000 civilians. The survivors sent a final transmission before the planet went dark. "The Zephyrians are torturing prisoners for entertainment." Helena walked to the viewport, watching enemy ships position themselves around Earth like predators circling wounded prey. Her reflection stared back from the reinforced glass, no longer the uncertain politician who had taken emergency power. Something harder had crystallized in her expression. "Your Majesty, your orders?" Torres pressed. Helena thought of her daughter attending university on Mars, probably watching these same terrible reports. Trash! She thought of her elderly parents in their Denver retirement home, too frail to evacuate. She thought of every human child who deserved to see tomorrow. "The Zephyrians made a critical error," she said quietly, her voice carrying deadly certainty. "They attacked us during a peace summit. They murdered diplomats under flags of truce. They're broadcasting torture as entertainment." She turned from the viewport, her decision crystallizing like ice in her veins. "They wanted to see what humans do when cornered. They wanted to witness our extinction." Her voice grew stronger with each word. "Instead, they're about to discover why our species conquered a planet full of apex predators." Admiral Sullivan's voice crackled through the comm again. "Your Majesty, the Zephyrian commander is hailing us. They want to discuss surrender terms." Helena straightened the emergency crown that felt foreign against her hair. She had been a literature professor before politics, someone who understood the power of words and the weight of history. Now she would write humanity's response in actions that would echo across the galaxy. "Put them through!" she commanded, her voice carrying an authority she had never possessed before this moment. "It's time these aliens learned the difference between human civilization and human survival." The holographic display shifted, preparing to show her face to creatures who had already decided her species' fate. But Helena Martinez was about to demonstrate why they should have studied human history more carefully before attacking a race that had turned warfare into an art form. The connection established, and alien eyes stared into hers across the vastness of space, expecting to see fear and defeat. Instead, they found something that made their blood run cold. They found a human queen ready for war. The Zephyrian commander appeared on the holographic display, his elongated skull gleaming under harsh ship lighting. Three Eyes regarded Helena with obvious contempt, while razor-sharp mandibles clicked in what she recognized as their expression of amusement. Human leader. The creature spoke through advanced translation software that rendered his words in perfect English. I am Warcast Commander Vex Thanner of the Zephyrian Imperial Fleet. You will surrender your pathetic species immediately. Helena remained perfectly still, her hands clasped behind her back. She had studied their psychology during the failed peace negotiations. Zephyrians respected strength and despised displays of emotion. I see you have deployed your full armada against us, she replied calmly. 800 warships to conquer one primitive world. Rather excessive, wouldn't you say? Vex Thanner's mandibles clicked faster. Your species murdered our diplomatic envoy 3 months ago. We seek appropriate recompense. Helena's expression didn't change, though inside she burned with fury. The aliens had assassinated Earth's leadership during that same summit, killing President Chen and every world leader except those few who had been traveling off-world. Appropriate recompense, she repeated slowly. You mean the systematic genocide of 8 billion people? The torture broadcasts your ships are transmitting, the destruction of our colonies. Your species shows promise for manual labor, Vex Thanner continued, clearly enjoying his position of power. We will preserve perhaps 10% of your population for mining operations. The rest are unnecessary. Behind Helena, Admiral Sullivan tensed visibly. Intelligence Officer Park's hands moved instinctively toward her sidearm. Commander Torres took a step forward, his tactical armor humming with barely contained energy. Helena raised one hand slightly, a gesture that froze her subordinates in place. Her voice remained steady, almost conversational. Commander Vex Thanner, may I ask you a question? The alien commander seemed amused by her composure. Speak quickly. Your surrender window closes in 4 hours. In your study of human history, what patterns did you discover regarding our response to extinction-level threats? Vex Thanner's 3 eyes narrowed. Your species possesses crude nuclear weapons and basic space capability. Your largest vessels carry fewer than 3,000 crew members. Your technology is decades behind our own. We have analyzed your capabilities thoroughly. Helena nodded thoughtfully. Yes, our technology is indeed primitive compared to yours. Our ships are smaller, our weapons less sophisticated. But I notice you didn't answer my question about our historical patterns. The alien commander's mandibles stopped clicking. Something in Helena's tone had shifted, becoming dangerously calm. Let me share some data with you, Helena continued. Humans have faced extinction 16 times in our recorded history. Ice ages, volcanic supereruptions, asteroid impacts, pandemics, world wars. Each time we were outmatched by forces beyond our control. She paused, allowing her words to sink in. Each time we survived by becoming more dangerous than whatever tried to kill us. Taurus looked at his queen with growing admiration. Helena had transformed from uncertain politician into something that reminded him of Earth's apex predators. Patient, calculating, absolutely lethal when cornered. Your threats are meaningless, Vex Thanner snarled. But Helena detected uncertainty creeping into his voice. We possess superior firepower, advanced shielding, numerical advantage. Helena smiled for the first time since the conversation began. It wasn't a pleasant expression. Commander, let me explain human warfare to you. We don't fight to win. We fight to make our enemies regret starting the fight in the first place. Admiral Sullivan received a secure message on her personal device. Her face went pale as she read the contents. Then she looked at Queen Helena with something approaching awe. Your Majesty, Sullivan said quietly, Project Prometheus is online. All systems report ready. Helena never broke eye contact with the alien commander. You studied our defensive capabilities, Commander Vex Thanner. You analyzed our patrol fleets and orbital platforms. You calculated our response time and firepower. She leaned slightly toward the display. But did you study what humans do to species that threaten our children? Vex Thanner's 3 eyes darted between his tactical displays. Your bluff is transparent. You possess no weapons capable of threatening our fleet. Helena's smile widened, becoming predatory. Commander Torres, please show our guest the current status of the Kepler 442b system. Torres activated his tablet, transmitting coordinates to the main display. The hologram shifted to show deep space tactical readings from humanity's most distant monitoring station. Sir, Torres addressed the alien commander with mock politeness. You mentioned destroying our colony at Kepler 442b. 200,000 civilians, I believe you said? Vex Thanner's mandibles clicked nervously. Yes. A demonstration of Zephyrian power. The tactical officers aboard your ships might want to examine the debris field more carefully, Torres continued. Specifically the isotope signatures. Helena watched the alien commander's face change as his crew presumably ran those scans. The 3 eyes widened in what she recognized as their expression of shock. Impossible, Vex Thanner breathed. Those readings indicate antimatter detonation. Your species doesn't possess such technology. Helena's voice dropped to barely above a whisper. We didn't possess it 3 months ago, but you taught us something important when you killed our diplomats and children. You taught us that the universe contains monsters. She straightened to her full height, every inch a queen ready for war. So we became bigger monsters. Park stepped forward, her intelligence briefing folder open. Commander Vex Thanner, your empire currently operates 372 colony worlds across 47 star systems. Your homeworld supports approximately 12 billion Zephyrians. The alien commander's face grew ashen. You cannot threaten civilian populations. It violates interstellar law. Helena's laugh was bitter and cold. The same interstellar law you violated when you assassinated our peace delegation, the same law you broke when you broadcast torture as entertainment. Every human in the chamber felt the shift in their queen's energy. The uncertain politician was gone, replaced by something far more dangerous, a mother protecting her species. Let me be perfectly clear, Helena continued. You have 4 hours to withdraw every Zephyrian ship from human space. You will return all prisoners. You will provide full restitution for our destroyed colonies. Vex Thanner's mandibles clicked rapidly in agitation. And if we refuse? Helena's expression became utterly serene, which somehow made her next words more terrifying than any shouted threat could have been. Then you'll discover why primitive species sometimes inherit the galaxy. The display went dark as Vex Thanner terminated the connection, leaving Helena alone with her staff in the royal chambers. The weight of 8 billion human lives still pressed against her shoulders, but now she carried something else. The cold certainty of a predator that had chosen its prey. Your Majesty, Admiral Sullivan said quietly. Prometheus is theoretical technology. The antimatter signatures Park mentioned were fabricated to suggest capabilities we don't actually possess yet. Helena turned from the viewport where alien ships still maintained their threatening positions around Earth's moon. Admiral, what happens to cornered animals when they can't run? Sullivan considered the question carefully. They fight with everything they have. And what happens when the most adaptable species in known galactic history gets cornered? Torres understood first. His tactical training kicked in as he realized what his queen was actually planning. They adapt faster than their enemies can react. Helena nodded slowly. Project Prometheus isn't just weapons technology. It's an entire paradigm shift. We're not trying to match Zephyrian capabilities. We're going to make their capabilities irrelevant. Intelligence Officer Park opened secured files on her tablet, displaying classified human research projects that had been accelerated exponentially since the alien attacks began. Quantum computing initiatives that could crack any encryption. Nanotechnology programs that could disassemble matter at the molecular level. Genetic engineering protocols that could target alien biology with surgical precision. The Zephyrians made a fundamental error in their threat assessment, Helena continued. They assumed human technology developed linearly. They calculated our progress based on normal evolutionary timelines. She gestured toward the tactical displays showing enemy fleet positions. They didn't account for what happens when an entire species focuses every resource, every brilliant mind, every desperate innovation on a single goal. Admiral Sullivan pulled up classified reports on her personal device. Ayo! Ma'am, the Deep Space Research Stations report breakthrough achievements in the past 72 hours. The Phoenix Laboratory created stable antimatter containment. The Europa facility successfully tested quantum tunnel boring. Mars Command completed the first functional cloaking device. Helena felt a grim satisfaction as she watched Zephyrian ships maintaining their seemingly dominant positions. They thought they were predators circling wounded prey. Instead, they were sharks swimming in waters where something much more dangerous lurked beneath the surface. Human ingenuity has always been our greatest weapon, she said. We turned fire into civilization. We turned metal into machines. We turned atoms into energy. Now we're going to turn desperation into victory. Torres received an urgent message through his secure communications array. His expression shifted from professional concern to barely contained excitement. Your Majesty, the Luna base reports successful deployment of the Wraith Protocol. Helena smiled, and this time the expression held genuine warmth instead of predatory coldness. How long before the Zephyrians detect our new capabilities? Based on their scanning patterns and technological limitations, Park calculated quickly, approximately 18 minutes. Excellent. Helena smoothed her jacket and straightened the emergency crown that no longer felt foreign against her hair. Admiral, prepare to broadcast on all Zephyrian frequencies. Sullivan activated the communications array, her fingers moving with practiced efficiency across the control interface. Broadcasting on all enemy channels, Your Majesty. They'll receive your transmissions simultaneously across their entire fleet. Helena positioned herself before the recording device, no longer the uncertain leader who had faced Commander Vexthaner's threats. 3 months of carrying humanity's survival had forged her into something harder and more determined than she had ever imagined possible. This is Queen Helena Martinez of humanity. Commander Vexthaner, I hope you've had sufficient time to reconsider your position. She paused deliberately, allowing tension to build across the communication channels. Your tactical officers have now detected anomalous energy signatures throughout this system. Your sensors are reporting impossible readings because you're encountering technologies that shouldn't exist according to your database of human capabilities. Through the chamber's viewport, Helena could see subtle changes in the enemy fleet's positioning. Ships that had maintained aggressive formations were now spreading into defensive patterns. Let me explain what's happening to your invasion force, she continued. Over the past 72 hours, humanity has implemented Emergency Protocol 7. Every research facility, every university, every brilliant mind on Earth and our colonies has focused on one objective. Her voice carried the weight of absolute certainty, making your species regret threatening ours. Torres monitored enemy communications through his tactical interface. Ma'am, we're intercepting massive communication traffic between their ships. Multiple vessels are requesting permission to withdraw. Helena's expression remained perfectly controlled, but inside she felt the first stirring of hope since the war began. Commander Vexthaner, your ships are currently surrounded by weapon systems that your sensors cannot fully analyze. Would you like a demonstration? The communication channel remained silent for 30 seconds. When Vexthaner finally responded, his voice had lost its earlier arrogance. Human Queen, our scans detect multiple artificial gravity wells throughout your system. This technology should be beyond your species' capabilities. Should be, Helena agreed. But necessity is a powerful teacher. Admiral Sullivan, please activate System Defense Grid Tango 7. Throughout Earth's solar system, massive installations that had been constructed in absolute secrecy began powering up. Artificial gravity generators created impossible spatial distortions. Quantum field manipulators warped local space-time. Energy weapons that drew power from stellar cores charged to firing readiness. Your tactical officers are now reading energy signatures equivalent to stellar-level events, Helena continued calmly. These aren't bluffs or fabricated sensor ghosts. They're operational weapon systems. Park monitored intelligence intercepts from the enemy fleet. Ma'am, Zephyrian Command is reporting critical system failures across multiple ships. Their navigation computers are being affected by our gravity manipulators. Helena felt no satisfaction in the aliens' distress. Too many humans had died for her to take pleasure in enemy suffering. But she felt the cold resolve of a leader who would do anything to protect her species. Commander Vexthaner, let me share some additional information about human nature. We don't just adapt to threats, we eliminate them completely. Her voice carried absolute conviction. Your empire has two choices: withdraw immediately and never threaten human space again, or discover why ancient Earth predators feared the species that built cities instead of hunting in packs. The tactical displays showed increasing chaos throughout the Zephyrian fleet. Ships attempting to maintain formation found their engines failing as artificial gravity wells disrupted their propulsion systems. Communication arrays malfunctioned under quantum interference. Weapon systems powered down as energy-dampening fields spread through their formations. This is impossible, Vexthaner transmitted, his composure finally cracking. Your species cannot have developed such capabilities in mere months. Helena's smile returned, but now it carried genuine pride instead of predatory menace. Commander, you've learned the most important lesson in galactic politics. Never threaten a species' children unless you're prepared for them to become something you can't handle. The enemy fleet began breaking formation as individual commanders prioritized survival over conquest. Ships that had approached Earth with absolute confidence now fled toward the outer system, their seemingly invincible technology rendered useless by human innovation. Your Majesty, Admiral Sullivan reported with barely contained excitement. Enemy forces are requesting immediate withdrawal clearance. Their entire fleet is retreating. Helena remained at the viewport watching alien ships disappear into hyperspace with the same casual efficiency they had used to arrive. But she knew this victory was only the beginning. Open a channel to all human colonies, she commanded. It's time to address our people. The communication array activated, connecting Helena to every human settlement across dozens of star systems. Billions of faces looked to their screens, desperate for hope after months of terror and uncertainty. My fellow humans, Helena began, her voice carrying across the vastness of space to reach every member of her species. Today we faced extinction. Today we discovered something about ourselves that we never wanted to know. She paused, allowing her words to sink into the hearts of every listener. We discovered that we are not the peaceful, civilized species we hoped to be. When threatened with genocide, we became something far more dangerous than our enemies imagined possible. Throughout human space, people watched their queen with expressions of awe, pride, and no small amount of fear. They had witnessed their species transform in real time, evolving from diplomatic civilization into something that could make galactic empires retreat in terror. The Zephyrian invasion is over, Helena continued, but we now carry a responsibility that will define humanity's future. We possess technologies that can reshape star systems. We have proven that desperation can accelerate evolution beyond all natural limits. Her voice grew stronger, carrying the authority of a leader who had guided her species through its darkest hour. We must choose what kind of galactic civilization we become. We can use our new capabilities to protect the innocent and enforce peace, or we can become the monsters that other species fear in the darkness between stars. Helena looked directly into the camera, speaking to every human consciousness across the galaxy. I choose protection. I choose to use our strength to ensure that no species ever again faces the choice between extinction and becoming something terrible. The emergency crown felt natural against her hair now, no longer a burden but a symbol of humanity's transformation. Queen Helena Martinez had led her species through evolution itself, emerging on the other side forever changed. We are no longer the primitive civilization that begged for peace 3 months ago, she concluded. We are humanity. We are the species that survives everything the universe can throw at us, and now we are the species that protects others from the same threats. The transmission ended, leaving 8 billion humans across dozens of worlds understanding that they had witnessed something unprecedented. Their species had evolved not over millions of years, but in mere months, compressed by necessity into something the galaxy had never seen before. Helena remained at the viewport long after the last Zephyrian ship disappeared into hyperspace. Earth slowly rotated beneath her, no longer a vulnerable world awaiting conquest, but the heart of an empire that had earned its place through innovation rather than aggression. Commander Torres approached quietly. "Your Majesty, preliminary reports suggest the Zephyrians are broadcasting warnings to other alien civilizations. They're specifically advising against any hostile contact with human space." Helena nodded without surprise. "Good. Let them spread the word that humanity prefers diplomacy but excels at warfare." Intelligence Officer Park cleared her throat respectfully. "Ma'am, we're receiving communication requests from dozens of alien governments. They want to establish formal diplomatic relations. On equal terms, I assume?" Helena asked with dry humor. "Actually, ma'am, several are requesting permission to establish embassies under human protection. Apparently, our demonstration of rapid technological advancement has impressed species who've been victims of Zephyrian aggression." Helena finally turned from the viewport, facing her assembled staff with the serene confidence of a leader who had successfully guided her people through transformation. The uncertain politician was gone forever, replaced by a queen who understood that sometimes protection required becoming feared. "Schedule the diplomatic meetings," she decided, "but make it clear that humanity's protection comes with expectations. We won't tolerate aggression against civilian populations. We won't permit slavery or genocide under our watch." Admiral Sullivan looked up from her tactical displays with something approaching reverence. "Your Majesty, you've essentially established humanity as the galaxy's police force." Helena considered this for a moment, weighing the enormous responsibility against the memory of burning cities and murdered diplomats. "Someone has to be," she replied simply. "The universe is full of predators. Perhaps it's time they encountered something more dangerous than themselves." As Earth continued its ancient rotation, carrying the seed of humanity's new galactic empire through space, Queen Helena Martinez prepared for a future none of them could have imagined. They had faced extinction and emerged not just as survivors but as protectors of civilization itself. The galaxy would never be the same, and humanity would make sure it was better for that change.